So what are you doing then to help people, to point people in a direction that might help them with their own professional growth and development?
Well, I like to say that I have created, well, I don't know if learning paths, but um, created online courses to help managers and employees to develop their leadership skills, or for employees, how to, I don't know, how to complete self-assessments and how to take advantage of the performance review meetings, and a lot of resources for managers. But if it's not related to compliance, people, most of them, they don't want to even open it and take it. So that's one of the struggles, even with
Mhm.
a learning path. Like, these are the suggestions for performance reviews, for a learning development program, for leadership skills, etc. And if it's not compliance, then becomes a like real struggle.
We've recently done, and I've joined a new organization in the last sort of 5 months, and I inherited a PDR, a performance development review process. And I put together a lot of resources from LinkedIn Learning, because we weren't offering any face-to-face training at the time. And what was interesting was everybody was saying, we don't have training. And then they started looking at that, thought, oh yeah, we do have training, but then didn't really seem to apply it. So, you can lead them to water, can't you? And they don't make them drink and apply it.
Mhm.
So I think there's something there about the self-directed. They chose what they wanted to do, but it was still within a framework of what they needed. But actually trying to make that transition over, I think is much more difficult if it's more self-directed, because they may not know what they don't want to know. That was the point I wanted to make
Mhm.
on that one. And just on the points around people struggling to finish the job, maybe an insight from a conversation I just had, like more
Okay.
really been having these conversations today, which was somebody who was basically saying that the reason their team, which is a front-facing team, doesn't do the training is because they're not, unlike other people in the organization, allowed to work from home for the day. And that's really what they needed to do. They needed to be able to work from home once a week, because they needed to be able to do the training. So that was a very interesting conversation, because actually there is no training that team is required to do that necessitates them to take 1 day a week. So they actually are trying to use this as a bargaining chip, to say we won't do the training unless we do unless we're allowed to work from home. So it was actually talking with that manager and saying, can we not sort of dedicate some time, they're half-an-hour blocks, we can book a room out for the day, they can go there with a coffee, not part of their coffee break, but they can go there with a coffee, just sit and do the training, and we can schedule in a couple of people to sit there with earphones doing it, and then perhaps have a little community of practice and a discussion afterwards about it. And
Mhm.
and that's how we move that group through quite quickly to some of the mandatory stuff they've not been doing. So I think sometimes it's interesting to think what else is going on that they're not doing it. And for me, that felt like it was a real bargaining chip and a hostage situation on that one.
Hold them hostage. But I think there's something to what you're saying, which is providing them with at least an environment, right? Give them at least an environment to go to in order to, if they want to do if that's how you want to, put forward the mandatory stuff, fine. But I think even just having an environment and a time to say, here's 15 minutes, here's the learning room or whatever you want to call it, 15 minutes, have at it. And in this room, maybe you can see the suggested paths or what have you. So that alongside the community idea, I think is really good, because people want to clearly talk about their experiences and what they're learning. So I really like that idea too, as a way to build in self-directed learning as part of a cohort, building in that community.